All right, here we go. I mean, just yeah, don't peel your eyes away because this is going to be just an incredible gameplay from both of these players. Just keep watching, and you can even learn a thing or two as we always do as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And whether it's the super big brain combo or just how to deal with terrible RNG, you always learn lessons here. And so we're seeing these boards packed really densely at the moment. Nice combo from Packy, a vertical into a horizontal. So there's not a lot of wiggle room to build really elaborate things, but now they both cracked these boards, and so the combos are going to start flying. And you see a really nice one down the left hand side from Frank.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now it's also the time when these players might start losing some variety on their boards. Frank definitely dealing with that, and right now as he doesn't have any yellow on the top line, but utilizing it to bring down some other stuff. Even having that setup on the left side, even realizes that if he puts everything backwards, it's just setting up for things to happen on that left side.
hmm And again, that left hand side, like you said, cleaned out. Um, Packy, a really big sloping board. Red is going to be a problem for him. And there's not really too many creative ways to take care of a lot of one color at the exact same time. And so he's just going to be waiting for that and then hoping for a lot of red blue. And so he is slightly ahead, but the diversity on the board is going to be a little bit of trouble for Packy.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say about Packy and what he did excellently there was that he broke one of the middle columns that had red on it, so that he would have ways to play the columns that were on the other sides, depending on what the doctor gave him. So definitely one of those things that you have to learn as well to just see what is in your best interest to just keep it moving for you.
For sure. Frank, on the right-hand side of the board, once he gets a red there, a nice combo is gonna fall with the reds horizontally and, vertically. He'll have a nice T, but he's making sure that the bottom is all set up, right, with the yellow and blue. Beautiful combo, and then, like, another L out of that. Really nicely done from Frank. Very tight game so far.
Yeah, it's something that you have to be worried about as well, and Frank is doing it very well. There is just your end game not to leave anything buried that will later on just be a problem. You do want to be aware of all of that, more so when you're playing on only one side of the board.
Mhm. Meanwhile, Packy out of level 14 first. And yeah, I think there was a misdrop on Frank's side. I think,
Yeah,
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 that
that wanted
didn't
to be
slide it
talk
all the
all the
way.
way. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's going to give Packy an opportunity to keep cracking this board open. He's really going to want to get that yellow out or red out rather in column 6 to make the yellow horizontal possible. Frank out at a 307.
And I mean, Frank figured out a way of dealing with that misdrop. Everything was very cramped, and nonetheless, he found a way to reach once again into that. So kudos to him as Packy is opening up a 20 virus gap at this point.
hmm But you see, Frank's got an awesome combo set up. Um, a lot of stuff falling really nicely for him. Red is going to be a little bit tricky. He is opening some up, and I think he's sort of declaring that he wants a combo, or sorry, a horizontal there. Um, yeah, and so that's going to set up a lot of really great things when it fires with this pill, probably. There we go.
Just keeps not playing only the top line, but rather anything that's below it. And if it's possible to continue setting up on top of some horizontal that is deemed very possible to get out with. He's just gonna keep doing it, and that's exactly what he's doing once again with that red. As you can see, that blue seems like garbage, but he's going to be using it farther down the line.
Whew, Packy had a really amazing combo just now, taking out a lot of blue on the board and setting up to make sure that the blues in row 2 can be taken out horizontally really easily. Packy just needs a couple of reds, and he's in an amazing position. He's got a 30 virus lead on Frank. Was not expecting to see that in the finals, expecting to see really close games. He's out at a 448. Packy's on fire.
Oh, definitely 448. They're getting out of level 15. It's just a tremendous time. But right now, Frank trying to make it as well into level 16, and unfortunately needs a lot of red and yellow to really do anything else on his board at this point.
Yeah, I mean, once that board starts clearing, it'll be pretty good. But yeah, those blues are gonna be blues gonna be a little bit of a barrier. Whoa! Okay,
That
okay.
that move has two complications in it. Number one, okay, pulling it off, which I guess many people in our community can do it, but also the fact that you have to think how to flip the pill in order for it to go the right way around. Just yeah, that's the hard part of it. Oh my
Meanwhile,
goodness.
so he gets out of 15. Um, Now Packy is still about 30 viruses ahead, and just making really nice work of this, just bringing it down bit by bit. And luckily, this board and the RNG cooperating, making setups very nice and easy. You'll see in the styles, Packy has no problem taking drill clears, and his board is just coming apart really nicely.
Yeah, I mean, just being already on the bottom half of the bottle, that's just showing how Packy hasn't put down the throttle from where he started, and that's exactly what he needs to do. Uh, we know that so far Frank has been the one taking every single one of their matches, but Packy surely is going to try and say something about that in this one.
hmm And notice some really nice work from Packy down the center of the board, dropping the red down. And it looks like he's symboling that he's probably going to want to go for a drop T once he gets some yellow down the center of that board. But we'll see, John. Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of a, a hiccup from Frank's stream. He's going to need a lot of blue and red to get this board going. He does have the chance to open up some yellow, and really nice combo there. Does leave something a little bit useless in column one, though, especially considering that columns 2 and 3 did have blue on top of them. Packy out at a 7-12.
I mean, the sequence of events that happened just at the end of that level 16, just everything you want to see. Paki realizing that the pills that he was given were uh, more useful to take out the blue virus first and then the yellow. And even with all of that, he was able to make everything that he was thinking of setting up happen at once. So yeah, just amazing gameplay there in 16 from Packy.
Right. And Frank, notice the end of the 16 very clean. But not diverse at all. Um, he is going to be taking out these reds in the center horizontally, and he does so, leaving the yellow open horizontally on the bottom, but it's not the biggest priority, especially um, because of the red horizontal on the bottom, which has just been opened up. But he'll be out. I mean, but Packy's doing fantastically. He's wow.
I mean, almost at a half of the level already in this little time that Frank took to get out of level 16, and once again, not letting any advantage to be diminished there, which uh, it's just Packy knowing who he's against, and just it's mere respect for Frank.
Definitely. And Frank setting up a nice combo at the top of the board. It was looking a little precarious for a second because I wasn't exactly sure. Something he did with a yellow blue was a little bit iffy, but he's already managed to clear it all up. But he's still at an over 30 virus deficit. And we saw from that game with Adelito that that's just so difficult to overcome, even with all the quick combos that he's making. Speaking of quick combos, really nice double vertical from Packy just now.
Aki's board just super clean. The
hmm
only slightly bad thing, but really not that much, is that right side, which is a bit sparred. But fortunately, the viruses are paired up and they are quickly taken by doubles. So not a huge problem there.
hmm And a great drop combo from Packy there. So this is really nice though. Now the right hand side is diverse, plenty of opportunities to clear things out, and so he's just got a lot of options. He'll probably be taking out those yellows. He can do them either horizontally or vertically, and then the blue will be open. So really nicely done. Just needs one more yellow to be out. And out at a 10:04. That is the 15th fastest time for this level block so far this year.
Yeah, yet again another hot time there. I mean, just you have to keep on pushing. Exactly what Packy did. Now he just has to do it two more times. Hopefully, with that, he'll be able to finally take one from Frank. But I'm sure that Frank is not going to let that happen that easily. And yeah, just he's gonna finish this. Just yeah, realize or make it sure that yeah, this level doesn't get out from his hands. Just yeah, finish what he started.
And he's out at a 10:50. So again, I said this with the game with Adelito. Sometimes players get the best of Frank in the beginning, and so we'll see if Packy's able to keep this going, or if Frank's gonna turn it up to 11.
I mean, regardless of what happens, I'm sure that yeah, this can also be a little bit of a extra warm up there for Frank just, and yeah, it's going to be even closer for for the next game for sure.
All right, we have readies from both players. Going to go straight into game two. 3, 2, 1, pills.
All right, here we go. So we see Packy, yeah, gets the double
Oh,
yellow right
nice.
away.
Nice opening board from Packy. Um, that double yellow, exactly what you wanted to see at the beginning. There is a lot of blue on the top of this board, not as diverse as we'd like to see, but that opening really made some stuff possible on the left hand side. And look at that even top line, John.
Yeah, and I mean, at least it like starts you in a good mood to say it in
Yeah,
some
it
way.
really does.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want from some of these levels because when you see, I don't know, a lot of red and blue on the top line and you're only getting yellow pills, it kind of is not what you were expecting for. And Packy is just holding out for that red blue to have the horizontal into a vertical. Very nice.
Sweet tea from Frank just now. It was looking a little iffy for a second. He was starting to go into uh, putting garbage on top to drop down mode, but luckily the pills cooperated and he could use stuff in a more straightforward way. Now his board is entirely blue yellow with just some red in the center, so he's going to have to maneuver that red carefully when he gets it.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Packy also answering with his own sweet tea, even diversifying the colors that appeared on it, as he leaves a little bit of garbage on that left side, but fortunately there's only two bars left there, so he can actually just take them away whenever he feels like it.
hmm And Packy holding on to the tiniest margin of lead. Now it's just totally even. Um, And so this is going to be an awesome match. Uh, Frank's board looking really good. He was maybe thinking about doing those reds in row three horizontally. I think with taking out the blues in row one, he changed that plan. But this is it's very easy to open this back up.
And in the meantime, Packy just having to deal with those viruses that we're talking about on that left side. Really, that's all that's left on his board. This drop is going to help clean up just to have an approach to that yellow virus. And in the meantime, Frank has already moved into level 15.
Yeah, getting that double blue right at the end, great. Again, that makes you feel really good, just like Packy's double right at the beginning of the level. But both of these players have really nice boards, really friendly for a lot of double work. But if Packy goes for this red yellow down the center, it is going to cause some drop time, and yellow is going to be a little bit hard to access now.
And for Frank, exactly the same thing. Not yellow to be found on the top line, really. And It is. You can find it on the next lines, but it's not easy to approach it as he has two red color stairs, and not a lot of red on the pills at this point.
Mhm. Oof, and, a double red came for Packy just a little bit too late, to do a nice horizontal, but luckily there was a mini red blitz just now so that he could, to take off some red, but look at this, a beautiful drop T, nice combo for Packy.
Oh, interesting. That blue yellow pill there for Frank. I'm not sure if that was a misdraw, but at least it helped to start clearing up stuff on a couple of rows over. And yeah, just doing really well. Now it's on cleanup mode as he left some yellow hanging there, but it seems like he's starting to get a hang on this board.
Mhm. Packy ahead 17 to 27, 10 virus lead. Um, the right side of the board is packed up tight there, and he's kind of have no choice but to take a little bit of drop time there while he waits for something to fall down onto the yellow in column six. But this little mini red blitz um, could have gotten a horizontal going. It didn't quite. I think he might have wanted to turn that around somehow differently. But um, yeah, just the slightest lead over Frank right now has Packy.
Frank just trying to work with whatever he's been given. Hasn't addressed really that left side, and I'm not exactly sure what's happening there. So
And meanwhile, I think on column one, Frank meant to put that double red on column two. I think he tucked it a little bit too far because it's going to block off that blue. But when blue is a color that you need a lot of anyway, it's tough to have a misdrop involving a blue. Speaking of blue, Packy needs just that as well.
yes, that is definitely the case. He gets one of them. Oh, and he gets a red and yellow blitz, mini blitz there, but he's gonna be out at a 504. Frank not that far behind even, so I mean, just made up a good chunk of time there when it was getting a bit struggle there on the left side. It's gonna be out at around a 509.
hmm In the meantime, Packy's been going to work on this board. It's a nice opening board there. Column three has a little bit of garbage on it, and there's not really an obvious way to turn that into gold. Um, but now it's all clear.
And Frank not getting exactly the pills that he needs. Work around some of these things, getting here some horizontal setups, just to try and clear some of this yellow that has been just straggled there on the third row from above. Just doesn't get the red yellow that he was expecting for, and of course it comes just a couple pills too late.
hmm for sure. But still, this is really even, and things are opening up for Frank. Packy was looking like he needed a lot of red, especially on that left hand side, and now it's switched to a bit of a blue story. So we hope that that will that will come through for him at the moment.
And
Hey,
I
it
will
does. All right.
and I will say that at this point, it looks like Frank's board was a bit too tall, but really it's just a lot of pills that are on the top line. Basically, these players are almost even just about 5 viruses away from each other.
hmm Packy setting up a nice combo to open up some yellow. There is a lot of red on the top line, and again, it's right as we're talking, it switched right to be yellow as the main color. But he is 8 viruses ahead, and so that that feels big for them. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, any advantage is a good advantage. You don't want to bank on it, but at least you know that you have something on top of your opponent. And I mean, this change of main color that Packing needs, it's a bit of a result of the fact that his board got a bit spired. So yeah, you just what you happen to see in these situations.
hmm Frank's board really nice. You do see some garbage on column seven, but it has nothing to do with anything. So he's going to be in really good shape. Has use for just about everything. Um, Packy out at about a 747. Going to start tackling this level 17, hoping that early RNG cooperates. No use for yellow, though.
All right, and Frank has just signaled he's going to go for the blues horizontally. He manages to save one build in the process and be out under 8 minutes.
Meanwhile, yeah, I think I might have cursed Packy there. Early RNG not really cooperating. You see some garbage on columns 3 and 4. Um, and so it was kind of hard to get access to red. And so he's left it open, or RNG has left it open rather, for this to be a pretty even game at the beginning.
And just look at how Frank has been setting up for that yellow. Didn't get the yellow red, but being this far top to the board, you cannot wait on it. You just have to take whatever the doctor's giving you.
For sure. And now finally, Frank's opening up a little more yellow, but if he gets too many red yellows, it's just going to be kind of a hot mess. But he does have an opportunity for a lot of blues down the center of the board. So a little bit of blue magic could help clear things up. And now look, a garbage free board for Frank.
And a little bit of magic and a lot of skill there, as it looked like he wanted to take all of the blues that were on the top line there, but realizes that breaking them up in two parts is actually not that terrible, and that's exactly what he went for.
hmm And with that, he has taken about a 11, 12 virus lead over Packy right now. Packy, who is in the lead pretty decisively through some of this game, um, and just having a little bit of trouble cracking this board. Um, you see, there's a lot of red yellow on the left hand side, and he could have used a little bit of it, but then he had to prioritize taking out that garbage.
And in the meantime, Frank just leaves that setup for the horizontal with reds be, as he was getting a lot of yellow, and realized that he has to prioritize the yellow. Very nice swim there as well.
But now that lead has narrowed down to 5. So Packy is coming back. His board is a little bit troublesome though. Those blues up high, whew, almost almost had a big misdrop there. Those blues up high are going to cause a little bit of drop time, and so I think even though they're neck and neck, this board is getting a little bit complicated for Packy.
Yeah, and also a bit of that complication comes from the fact that he doesn't have the setup for the two yellows on column three,
hmm
and that's going to take time to solve away. And then, of course, the doctor right now decides that it's time for a
Ooh.
red search. Oh my goodness!
Right. It's just totally not what you want to see. Meanwhile, Frank just needs a couple of blues and he'll be out. And he's out at a 1050. Packy has 5 viruses left to go. And again, those double yellows there in column 3, that's just the rough part of the setup. It's gonna take time to dig those out.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but sometimes that's what happens when you are setting up some other stuff. And yeah, now he's just gonna wait for the last two blues. Come on, there's one. There should be another one coming in. There you go. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well,
Uh,
fortunately, it doesn't make a much difference in the result of the match. But yeah, you don't want to see that. Or at
oh,
least if you
yeah.
want, if you have those slight misdrops, yeah, it's when a match doesn't really matter anymore.
Yes, that's kind of adding insult to injury there when you finally see that last one coming and then your finger slips. Yikes.
Ah,
All right.
right, but
Packy is already ready to go
yeah,
again.
okay, like nothing happened. Just jump into it again, as Frank's also ready for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Pills. What was best of 5 is now a best of 3.
Right,
All
Frank
right.
first out of the gate, Packy just behind him, and I like Frank's board. It's quite varied. He's going to clear out a lot of that blue and yellow, but he has some of it as well on the left side.
Yeah, and nothing needed to happen that was very complicated there. So really friendly. Frank is getting the red blues that I wanted for Packy, which he just got. So it really nice. fat log down the center of the board for Packy.
Both of these players just with a very nice start, and they haven't had to really overcomplicate a lot of stuff. Packy right now does have to start thinking about what to do with those yellows, as he really doesn't have anywhere to put them.
Hmm. And now he has a little bit of a funnel situation going on. The left and right, very spired, in the center, much lower. But luckily opened up that diversity so both columns 1 and 2 weren't the same color.
And for Frank, now the pinpoint is that he doesn't have any blue on the top line. He needs a lot of yellow, a bit of red as well to continue moving forward. And things are very crammed up, so really there's just a few talks that he can do to continue using pills if they are not that color.
And you know that Frank loves to use every single pill half, but you have seen him a couple of times, like just now, just taking out garbage, saying, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to use this quickly, and taking some of those verticals, which we don't always see him do. And it's now a dead heat here. Packy taking a nice combo down 7 and 8 to open up a red, and almost an identical combo down in 1, 2. So his board looking so good for the end of this level.
Definitely. And regarding that, just leaving pills be when they are not good for you. That's something what you have to do. Just know when to take the loss, just to take the garbage or whatever, and keep on moving. As Packy is going to be first at 212, but Frank is just 2 yellows away. Oh, that double yellow going to help
Oh,
to get out
so
after
nice. Yeah.
215.
And, Packy's opening, it looks like, from that garbage there in column 6 that, he'd love to get a horizontal there, but it's just the pills aren't really cooperating for that unless he gets a blue-yellow at the moment. Um, he'd love to see that, but still gets that vertical sorry, gets that horizontal.
And in the meantime, Frank has been just staring at this level really quickly. Got some really nice setups, exactly the right pills for it, and he put them where they were the most efficient. So he's been doing really good at this point. A little bit of complication there, as he doesn't have a lot of blue on the top line, but that double yellow definitely is going to help him. There you go, another sweet tea.
And this board is so clean for him. Um, Packy needing a bunch of red, and wow, you see those last second micro adjustments from Packy. You think that it's going to fall a certain place, and just at the last second, it is in the correct spot. So really great reflex work from him, and really, really good stuff happening. A lot of opportunity for doubles, especially down towards the bottom of the board for Packy. Frank's board, incredibly red, and he's not getting any right now. So he's just going to have to play the waiting game.
Yeah, the waiting game, which I mean, Paki has been really amazing at just figuring out how not to be struggled by one color on that right side. Given that it looks like he's going to be needing very specific stuff, but so far he's found ways of using mostly every pill that he's come with.
Hmm. Definitely. And that right-hand side pretty locked up, but again, he's not going to be completely reliant on any one thing. Frank just needs red, spired in 3, spired in 6. And easy stuff once that's all taken care of, but it's going to be difficult.
And now it's just a little bit of waiting time there as well for Paki. Perhaps signaling he wants to go for the. Oh, could have gone for
Oh,
the sandwich with that double yellow, but that doesn't matter. He still has the setup, and now it's just a matter of one red as Frank manages to get out of level 15 first.
mhm. Just got the stuff he needed. Um, and so has a great opportunity for big blue horizontal there.
I mean, you're sure that one of these players is going to be taking it, given that the board is very nice. But as you say, they get exactly what they need, and they just manage to disappear everything so quickly. I cannot even keep up with both of them. Sometimes it's just like, okay, one
Exactly.
eye here, one eye there.
And Frank's board is just gorgeous right now. Just like basically anything that shows up is going to be useful and useful for a combo.
And very double friendly, which just exactly what you want to see because yeah, this is going to disappear fast as well.
Packy had the opportunity to build for a horizontal that had that yellow in column 8. It didn't quite work out, but this board's still diverse, and Packy also manufacturing some diversity on column 7 with that red.
Yes, Frank getting a little bit slowed down, but there's still a very varied board at this point. Just the little bit of garbage there with the blue, but even the right pills. Okay, no, he's not gonna go for the horizontal. That was a possibility, but realized that the pills are not gonna work for that.
Meanwhile, awesome combo from Packy had a drop L there. So looking really good. He was 10 viruses back. It's now about 5. And so this lead I think is gonna bounce around a little bit more. Really nice combo from Packy there. Um, has a lot of stuff that he needs to do with blue, but he's gonna start taking those out in nice combos.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Frank has just been waiting for red. That's what he needs to open up those last viruses. Not been getting a lot of it, as you can see from the right side of his screen, just
Hmm.
piling up all the blue and yellow that definitely is not welcome right now in Frank's board.
Interesting that he did throw away that red yellow. I think he could have used it and it wouldn't have bothered his plans, but now he is out of 16 at 7 minutes.
Sometimes you just have an idea of what to do, and
Hmm.
that's the pill that you're waiting for. Unfortunately, he got him. So what else can he
Yeah,
ask for?
exactly. Meanwhile, Packy gets a double horizontal. All the all the viruses off of his board at the same time, out at a 720.
And as you could see, even gives him time to at least take a big breath and continue whittling at it.
Hmm. And now a great fat log from Packy, or sorry, from Frank down into another drop, and manages to take care of those those 2 viruses up top before things got faster.
Yeah, the whole setup for it, it was just waiting for how to trigger the fat log the best. Well, with the one pill that he needed, and just had the time to wait for it, which is not something you can tell often here.
Yeah, and you'd think that Packy didn't have a slowdown at all at the end of 16 because he's bringing this so close. Now, all of this blue on the board, it's going to be about whether it starts clearing up quickly, whether he can keep this close. And so, because Frank's got a much easier path towards the bottom of that board.
Definitely. Once again, a very double friendly board for Frank, and it has its variety. Packy's board has that a big staircase of blue just coming down the middle of his board, which, well, depending on the RNG, means whether it's a lot of doubles very easy or something that can stop you from having variety.
Hmm. But Packy using yellow wisely to get a combo into some red. But speaking of red and yellow, that is what Frank needs right now. Just 3 blue viruses, and they're all pretty much easily taken care of. So as long as Frank can get those red yellows, he'll be all set. The things will just fly off the board. Um,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things are just, like you say, just set up, and that's going to bring down all of that red.
mm,
Oh, and then takes out the red that was underneath, so it's all yellow on the left side. Can even dare to wait for a red yellow perhaps on that left side. And yes, he gets it, so he doesn't have to talk anything. He just goes for the drop.
Oof, and a 935. That is a top 5 time for Frank. Um, really nicely done.
I mean, this player just having something to say about this level. I just say it's a top 5 time. Just playing so fast, but and they have been doing excellently. It's none of their fault that sometimes the RNG works in favor of one of them much better than the other. Packy with a 10:04, amazing time as well.
Yeah, you can't mess with the top 5 strat. And now and now Frank has put Packy up against it. Packy's gonna need to win 2 in a row if he wants to take the crown. So I think we really want a decider again.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, as we've said earlier, we would like for this to go of the distance, but of course, when you are on Frank's seat, you don't want it to go the distance. He's going to try
No.
his best not to, but hey, we want to see as much Dr. Mario as possible. But yeah, both of our players just going onto it.
And 3, 2, 1 pills. Uh, the thing that's interesting to note is when you're playing these levels in competition, this really does feel like a marathon situation. You are making hundreds and hundreds of decisions in just a span of a short 10 minutes, and it really gets to you. And I'm sure these players are going to be seeing pills when they close their eyes tonight.
Oh, certainly. I mean, it's quite like you say. It's a marathon. It just this is designed for you to have to go at it, do as you say a lot of moves without making mistakes, which is like the important part as well. And yeah, just amazing how these players can do this for over an hour or so, even more time than that.
Yeah, definitely. And they have so few missteps. But both of these players cracked open their boards really quickly. But Packy was having, you could tell he was a little bit angry with the pills he was being given because he's got, now he has this blue open that he can take down horizontally, but it was a long time in coming.
Yeah, and it was as much creativity as he could do for using most of that, given that yeah, it was a red and yellow top line, and nothing else you can do other than wait for a bit.
hmm And Packy could have had a potential horizontal red, and you could see him maybe thinking about it, and then he changed his mind. Seems like a reasonable play, and he can take out the reds horizontally in row one, which he can do right now. Boom, boom. So he is about 10 viruses ahead of Frank right now, and but Frank just needs a lot of blue yellow in a really nice simple way, and he'll be out. So nothing fancy needed for Frank to take care of business.
I mean, as we were saying, it looked like Packy was hamstrung there for a moment, but Frank is also encountering his problems. So yeah, that this at least a bit well better for now. The one chasing for that decider, as Frank's going to be out at 205.
hmm And Packy getting started on this level 15, yellow is not really his friend. He has been getting quite a bit of it. And basically, as soon as he opened one up, the use for it is gone. He's cleared it.
Yeah, fortunately, using some of it as platforms to avoid any drop time, but
hmm
yeah, he definitely doesn't want to see a lot more yellow for the time being.
Meanwhile, Frank is, as soon as he gets going, this is a super double friendly board. Not a lot of use for yellow, but just notice all the blue there that has the opportunities for horizontal, all the reds that's vertical. This is going to look really good for him.
Yeah, but it's being very patchy work that he has had to do. Opening up that gap in the middle also makes it so that you have to, well, or you cannot have exactly what you want to clear things. He's gonna get that horizontal, however, in the meantime.
hmm And Packy having a little bit of trouble there on that left hand side. A blue red would be really great for him to clear that out, and he gets it. And so that's going to be really helpful for him to be able to plow through this level. He was sort of at a bit of a loss, taking a little bit of garbage too.
Oh, interesting move there by Frank. That red blue on columns 5 and 6. I'm not sure if he wants to tuck it all the way or what was the plan exactly for that, but I'm pretty sure that there was a misdrop involved in that.
I would agree because there's no blue in column 6. I don't know. Oh, really nice tuck from Packy there. In columns 4 and 5 with the blue yellow. Now red is going to be something that he's going to need a lot of. The red on column 4 particularly annoying. So we'll see if he tries to go for that horizontally. Not sure if that's the play, but he's going to be waiting for it.
Yeah, but in that wait time, Frank manages to get into single digits. Now only 5 bars is left. Those two blues on the right side, he's gonna have to figure a way to open
Mm,
them because okay, manages to get that vertical and that red is going to be gone. Fortunately, gets more red to take care of the bars on the left side, and he's just gonna be waiting for three blues.
Meanwhile, Packy just waiting for 3 reds. Close as close can be. He's gonna be out at a 445.
About a 6 second difference there for both of our players. As Frank is setting up for some no drop time combos. Very nice so far for Frank. Declares that he wants to go for that horizontal with red.
Hmm, kind of that's a tricky setup. Packy's board was not as beautiful at the beginning. He couldn't just do all of those 0 drop clears, but he's setting up a lot of good stuff here. Needs a ton of red yellow now, but no garbage on the board.
And Frank doesn't need any of that red that was coming from that red surge. Now manages to open up some of it, and yellow is nowhere to be found but on column 6 at this point. So, yeah, Frank perhaps waiting for some blue to start bringing down those sides of the bottle, and it's not coming in large doses apparently.
Hmm. Yeah. So now Packy has very little use for blue. He's got that one tucked up in column 3, and now the ones in column 5 are cleared. He needs a lot of red, and so this board is going to get kind of spired. Luckily, he takes down the spire in column 3, and but still a 34, 32 now, 32, 37 advantage Frank.
Definitely, as we're gonna see how that fares for Frank in the end game, as he's still not addressing those left and right sides. Perhaps waiting for some doubles to help along the way as he whittles down the what it's left on the middle of his board. And Packy with a situation where he's also trying to bring down everything, but he needs yellow and he needs it now.
Yeah, that situation that you were worried about for Frank just did not come to pass. Everything came up very nicely for him to deal with the left and right hand sides very quickly. Um, the only sort of slowdown he might experience would be in column 7, taking out that blue. But as I say that, of course, the game provides. And so, yeah, just needs a couple more yellows and he'll be out of 16. Reds, rather. Sorry, I can do colors.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like we mess up those colors
No,
that
no,
often.
no.
All right. And in the meantime, Packy is waiting for red. I mean yellow.
Thanks, thanks. Yes. So the problem is, he would love a double yellow to deal with column 7, but now he's manufactured it. And so as soon as he drops this yellow down, he will be out of level 16 and in there with Frank, chasing down his last his last opportunity to finish this out. But Frank making really good work at the beginning of this level, and the red surge helping him a lot.
Definitely. And I like how Frank undertook that last red for the right side just to avoid
Woo!
any problems.
Oh, Package just had a really amazing combo down the center of the board. It was like a fat drop, fat L. Really nice. Sorry, go on.
No, it's perfectly fine. I'm sure it was great. I was looking at Frank's board and I missed it completely.
Yeah, there is, if you can't even imagine what it's like in the booth, all of these things happening at the same time, and as soon as you talk about one, it's no longer relevant. But just had to interject with that awesome move of Packy's. But it is about a 9 virus lead for Frank right now.
I mean, that's been whittled down from, I think they started about a 15 bars difference. So Packy doing exactly what he needs to do, turn it up to 11 at this point and try your best to catch up with Frank, who definitely is no slouch at this point. He's just whittling things left and right very, very fast.
Whew, and it's so even right now. Oh my gosh, it's within 1. It's both players have reasonable boards, but Packy's gonna definitely need red to get out of it, and I think he's manufacturing a drop cross, so that's gonna be good. He gets the drop cross, and the garbage falls really nicely in place. So good move from Packy.
And what I can say is that Frank is going to need red to open up that right side, because at this point, oof, that might slow him down just enough as Packy needs.
Oh my gosh, I cannot handle my life. Um, so Frank's got a situation in column one with that red. I think he's signaling that he is going to take it out horizontally. He needs to take out the blue to do so. Meanwhile, Packy has an RNG nightmare, end of game nightmare. Look at all this blue. Um, he's going to need a slowdown. Big time from Frank, which I don't think is going to happen because as soon as Frank gets one more red, he is going to win this tournament.
And there is
And
the red.
oh,
Oh, yeah, as you
man,
say, the RNG really
no.
meant there that Packy couldn't get out. It didn't get enough blues. He's gonna be out 12 seconds too late.
I that is not the no, that's not the way you want it to end because uh that last level from Packy up until the end was so amazing. Packy saying, "GG's, I just can't beat you." I think the whole field is watching and just saying the same thing.